50% of LGBT workers were not paid or promoted at the same rate as colleagues. This is according to MAP and the National LGBTQ Workers Center in 2017. I'm Britany Schweitzer, and this is Calling BS. I have a very, 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 very special guest with me. It's my beautiful, beautiful wife, Blake. Aren't you so excited to be here?
I'm so excited.
So excited.
You're staring at me right now.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
It's real weird. We're in a closet right now.
It's for the best sound.
I'm just kidding. We're in our recording studio, state of the art, with red carpeted padded walls.
Yeah.
And black leather furniture.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I'm not surrounded by shoes and
clothes. No.
that are hung up.
No, definitely not. What do you identify as? Yes.
A lesbian. Is that?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's a fun one. Even though I was a part of the whole thing, and so was Little Pink there. What's your coming out story? And it's a long road. Do it in a brief manner, as much as you can. I was definitely a part of it, but
yeah,
I don't know how you want to describe it from your point of view.
It's just so long.
It is long, but I think it's important.
I mean, everybody always jokes and says basic training did it, but
basic training for
the military.
Mm-hmm.
So like before I went to basic training, I like kind of knew I was gay, but like still dabbled in the men area. You know, a little dabble. My dog's staring at me as I say it. It's really weird.
She's like, Mom, no.
When I went through basic training, all the women that I went through training with were also gay or lesbians, and I was just like very comfortable like being myself around them. So when I came home, I just continued to just be myself more. This was before I met you. And
not by much, though.
No, not by much. I met you a couple months later, and of course you and I hit it off, and we're doing our weird whatever we were, texting. I liked you, but I still wasn't ready to like bring you into
the madness of your life.
Not the madness, but just like into like the whole family. Like I don't think I was ready to have like a relationship.
No.
Yet. So I mean, majority of my family like knew I was gay when I came out. I didn't come out to everybody, but it's still different. Like when you come out and then introducing somebody to your family is still like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you were around my family a little bit, but I didn't like claim you as my girlfriend.
I literally was at your birthday shindigs at the
so
bars,
weird.
And I was literally sitting next to you, and your mom's like talking to you. And
I know it wasn't until 2018 when we got back together, and I was like, "This is my girlfriend, Britany."
Yeah, but they knew by then. Well, majority of them knew, except for your grandparents, right? Like your mom and dad, and
I think they knew. I just hadn't
like told them,
introduced them
to
anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, by that time I was ready to settle down and be with somebody. I knew I loved you, and if people didn't like it, then I didn't really care. I just wanted to be with you. So
yeah, that was a long journey, because when I met you was in 2013, and we got back together in 2018. So even us not together, whatever, that was a long journey of you coming out. And
yeah, I mean, it wasn't just me coming out. Like it was, I mean, you and I have been through a lot together. I mean, you were there when, I mean, I was doing the whole military thing, and then working at UPS, and then getting in the police academy, going through the police academy, establishing myself as an officer those first couple years. I mean, it was a journey for sure.
Yeah. So, in the careers that you just talked about, did you, I don't feel like you did, but you didn't fear coming out to anybody.
No.
I feel like,
I was more afraid to come out to my family, which is so weird.
yes.
If you meet my family, you're like, why in the hell would you be?
Yeah, your
I know.
family is so, like, literally once they met me, they were like, come here, and like
Yeah,
hug
it's
me.
just like a hurdle you have to overcome. It's your own fear, which I don't know.
It just took you a while. It's
Yeah.
okay. It took me a while too.
Yeah.
But like, cause you said it in the military, majority of the women you were working alongside were gay.
I mean, that was in basic training, but like when I was in my unit, there wasn't even a handful. I mean, but like when I went to that unit, I mean, I was there for 6 years with the same people, so I was just comfortable, and I wasn't going to go into a new career trying to be somebody I wasn't. So, I mean, I wasn't afraid. If some people don't like it, then they don't have to talk to me and be my friend or anything. We're there to work and get the job done.
That's literally, it's so crazy that's how you, I guess because maybe it's more not like your people that care about you so much. Maybe that's why it was so easy for you to just come out to work and be who you are at work.
Yeah, because they didn't know me, like, before. So, like, that's the first time they're meeting me and, like, seeing who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're changing this image that people have of you beforehand.
Yeah.
So,
what about at UPS? Because that was really kind of before the military and during the military as well.
I mean, I was just myself. Like, I wasn't dating anybody. I don't think I ever really talked about it much to anybody. It was just more, we were all just friends. We didn't really.
But did they know that you were gay? I mean,
it came up like a couple years after I'd started working there, but I mean, they could probably tell by the way that I dressed and stuff. But again, we worked outside in the summer. I wore basketball shorts and a cutoff just because you're working in the heat and it's humid. And then, I mean, in the military, what we were doing, like when we were, not every drill weekend we were doing, a lot of physical stuff, but sometimes you're like setting up tents and doing all the other stuff. And I was kind of one of the people that wasn't afraid to get my hands dirty. I kind of like enjoyed doing that. So
yeah,
I'm not like some prissy girl that's like, ew, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get hot. And I'm like, look how much I'm sweating. This is awesome.
Watch me build this.
I haven't showered in 2 weeks. This is amazing.
That's disgusting. That is so disgusting. Okay, then what about, so I met you, you were coming out of the military boot camp, like by 6 months. You were working at UPS, and then you joined the police force.
Yeah.
When you went to your training for the academy, how was that?
I mean, the girls that I went through with, like, I told them,
yeah,
I'm gay. Like, I knew we were going to go through this
for 6 months
journey through 6 months, and I was anticipating it to be kind of like boot camp, except I got to come home, every night and stuff. But I was like, I'm going to be in close quarters with these women for the next 5-6 months. So I was very open and outgoing with them, and I never said anything to the training staff, but apparently they were like, oh yeah, we know Schweitzer's gay, like we can just tell. So that was already assumed.
You're just more obvious than I think you realize,
I guess. So yeah,
I mean, just by like us going out in public, I'm dressing more feminine per se, and you dress more, I don't even like calling it masculine, but I mean, you wear men's clothes. But
but it's not like over the top.
No,
or anything.
No, it's not, and that's why I'm like, I guess that's the only way to kind of describe your style is more masculine,
like tomboy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's literally what you are. You wear your ponytail, sometimes a backwards hat with your hair down, but only for your wife. Oh my goodness. Did you, which I know some small stories, but did you ever have any issues within working with people? Like ever say anything to you, discriminate towards you, anything like that?
I wouldn't say I was discriminated against. I know.
Don't have to drop any names, by the way.
I'm not. As police officers, we are very like open and outgoing with each other. So
vulgar would be another term for that.
Vulgar is a good word, but you got to make it the job fun. So I mean, you definitely get comments like, "Oh, you just haven't been with the right guy," or you know, "I can turn you straight," and you're just like, "Yeah, whatever." Like you just kind of blow it off. You know, I work with a bunch of guys, so I just give it right back to them.
That's yeah,
and it's fun. Like I don't get offended by it.
No.
Like. I can offend if I feel offended by them, they're gonna know. But like I said, I can't think of one time where I was like very offended by anything. And it's weird because like even coming in contact with some people in the public, like I've had women, like I had a woman look at my little rubber wedding ring one time at work, and she was like, "Oh, like I hope you have a real diamond at home." Or he got you a real ring. And I was like, well, and she was like, oh my God, like, you know, like little things like that, or oh, I'm sure your husband, or are you married and have kids? Like people just assume, like
because you're all wearing the same uniform. They don't know.
And that's just it. Like even like people that I work with, if you don't hang out with them outside, you only know them as that person in the uniform. I mean, you know their personality and stuff, but you know, I wear my hair in a bun at work, and it's all messy.
Most other females.
Yeah, I mean.
Officers.
I might look more feminine at work than what I do when I come home and put on other clothes, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But it doesn't bother you or anything? Even strangers saying anything to you about
No.
You and men?
No.
I know I'm sure people in the community have said even rude things to you, not just talking about your ring, but
I've been called like a dyke and rug muncher, and you know, when people are very angry with me, like they definitely throw
every name in the book.
Yeah, I mean, I've
plenty
had people
of derogatory things towards you.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people say you just need dick, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you, but no, thank you.
Yeah,
you just kind of play it off in a smart ass attitude is the way I play it off. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's all you can do. Yeah, which is. It's comical that people actually think that way. But luckily, the personality that you have is just you let things roll off, and name calling doesn't bother you, because if it did in the career that you were in, you'd be upset all the time. Yeah. Truthfully.
I mean, there's some stuff that gets under my skin, but it's not anything that has to do with what I identify as or me being gay. That doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I think more people are uncomfortable around me just because of the way I am, and they're like, oh, I don't know if I should say that around her, but then I'll spit something like right back at them, and they're kind of like, oh, okay, you know, if she's saying that, then okay, I think I'm okay to say that. Yeah. So at first, like, people are probably very precautious, like, you know, if you say, well, that's gay, you know, you have some people that'll be like, I'm offended by that because I am gay. Yeah. But, like, when people hear the way I talk with the guys and stuff, they're just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you could probably tell when I started my new job, I was more reserved, and I kind of, like, figure people out and establish, like, how I can be around people, but I'm definitely very comfortable with the guys that I work with, and we just rip into each other, and it's a blast.
You're just one of the guys, babe.
Yeah, that's what they say, just one of the guys.
You're so funny. Have you ever had any issues with anyone because of your sexuality, like within the workplace? Like, has anyone ever... I mean, I think for the most part you kind of said it. Men, even police officers and the community, have said you just haven't had the right dick yet.
Yeah, but no, I haven't had any issues. And again, like, when people say that, that's more because they're angry with me or we're joking around. That's not just me saying, oh, I'm gay and somebody says that.
Yeah,
Like
no
we're
one's
probably talking about something and just being goofy and
yeah, no one's blatantly like
yeah,
trying to
nobody's
say
just like,
that
oh,
to
you're
you.
gay. Well, you just haven't had the yeah. Nobody.
How
That's
many
not
times
how it
can we
comes across.
say dick in one podcast?
Yeah, dick.
Oh gosh. Within your career, have like at this point, I would say yes, over and over and over again. Do you feel like you have to keep coming out to people?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's not like when I meet somebody, the first thing I tell them is I'm gay. It's like very subtle that they find out. Like,
I think now
whether they see a ring on my finger or like they walk into a conversation and somebody says Brit or I say my wife, like that's more how people find out. It's not like I'm just walking around the workplace saying I'm gay, but I don't hide it from people.
No.
Like I know a lot of people are very cautious about, you know, how they say, like, you know, some people might say my significant other or something. I say my wife blatantly. Like, I'm not ashamed to say it. I love you. And like I said, if people don't like it, then you don't have to talk to me. Like, we work together and we go home at the end of the day and you don't have to see me at the end of the night. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, I think you've come a long way, though, from even getting to that point.
Yeah,
even
I mean,
it's not even just like at work, like even going out in public, like just from the beginning of us meeting to now. I mean, you like make sure you grab my hand, you make sure I'm introduced to people. Like it was a journey for you to get to the point you are now, for you to just sit there and be like my wife.
Well, yeah, but I was so unhappy before being the way that I was with
hiding
you.
it.
Yeah, hiding it. So now I'm like, I'm so comfortable with it that I'm proud to show you off as my wife and say this is my wife and be able to say that. So, like I said, if people don't like it, they can meet you and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that not everyone's going to like you as an individual. It's not even like what you identify as.
Right.
Not everyone's going to like you, and you just kind of got to move on if it doesn't. Have you heard of any of your friends, even in the military or anything like that, ever have any issues with being out in the community gay? With being gay? I just feel like now, like in both the military and in police, I don't know, it just seems more.
I mean, I know some friends that have had trouble, but I think that's more because they're a woman than they're gay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as somebody being gay and having issues, I don't really know anybody that's had issues with that. Like I said, I know some people that have had issues with stuff just because they're a woman.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like in the larger departments and stuff like that, it's probably not. It's more accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like in smaller, like you know, smaller towns, even in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in a smaller one, but it's on the edge of, you know, a big city, so it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any issues. Do you have any last minute like tips or thoughts to people in the LGBTQ community coming out within the workplace and how to deal with it?
I mean, I would just tell people, like, I wish everybody could, I don't want to say everybody, I wish everybody could be like me, because that just sounds selfish and self-centered. I wish people could be more not worried about it, but I know that's not the same for everybody, and that also has to do with where you live and where you work and stuff like that. So it's easier said than done when you say just be yourself and don't worry about what other people think. I feel like that's what everybody says to everybody coming out, but I mean, that's what I do, and at the end of the day, like,
It doesn't bother
that
you.
person doesn't have to like me and be my friend, and at the end of the day, I don't care if they're my friend or not.
Yeah. Rolling off of you saying just be who you are, because for me, in the industry that I'm in, it's very, I would say my my business is pretty professional, so I don't blatantly go out and say I'm married to a woman. I'm very careful with how I even come off.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just industry wise or if it's just human being wise. Do you feel more comfortable than me? I don't know. Probably.
I think, well, like you don't, like you dress like feminine. So I think for people it's harder to tell.
Yeah.
Again, like I wear a uniform to work. So people, it's hard to tell
What?
then too. If you put me in your job or in a position where I had to wear business clothes, I would be wearing more masculine clothing. So I think that would be like it's more of a dead giveaway for me.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's just sometimes hard to even say. Like, I'm almost like, I hate it. Sometimes I almost feel like I'm embarrassed to even, I'm in a public or in a professional setting, having a professional meeting, and they'll say something about my significant other, husband, and I'm like, well, no, my wife. And for some reason, I still get embarrassed. But I'm not embarrassed by you. I'm not embarrassed by our relationship.
right.
I think,
It's just a comfort thing.
yeah, I think you handle it better than me, and you're more open and honest and tell people who I am and who you're married to. Like, you just don't care. But I still have like something in the back of my head, I guess from growing up. It's like,
Yeah, but also
you.
look at it as like it's legal for us to get married.
yeah,
Like we are allowed to get married. If it wasn't legal, I could see people like if we said that, I could see why people are like, "Oh,
yeah,
what?" But if people have a problem with it, it's legal. Like at the end of the day, it's going to become, I keep saying at the end of the day, that's like my phrase
Yeah.
through this podcast. At the end of the day,
at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's going to become more of a normal thing as time goes on. So, you know, like I hope when we have kids and they have kids, like
it won't even matter.
same-sex couples or
Just another couple.
yeah, just another couple. So
Like I said, I don't know if it's because I dress more feminine, so I feel like I have to tell people more, and you, for most people, not even just within your career, just in general, they can kind of see and look at you and already know. But definitely it's harder for me within the workplace to even say things. And I'm getting better. I mean, I got the whole company, we're certified LGBT. I'm a certified business with that.
Right.
But for some reason, it's still harder for me. I don't know.
Hopefully you grow out of that.
I hope so. I'm in it for the
I'm your wife, love me.
I'm in it for the long haul with you. So I definitely need to just get out of that. But it's hard. I think it's a process. Also, I feel like I didn't know for sure that I was even gay until I really met you and our like whole journey together. And I feel like you kind of thought you knew beforehand. You had a little bit of a leeway on me on knowing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. Just we're different in that capacity. You're definitely more just, hey, this is who I am. I don't care. I don't know if that's also how you grew up with your family.
I mean, you let me wear like
what do you call
cowboy
those?
boots and sweatpants, muck boots. You let me wear muck boots,
Muck
and
boots,
sweatpants,
camo
muck boots and sweatpants to Target. Muck boots.
I don't like that you wear that.
But I do it. You say I don't want you to do that. People are gonna stare at you, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
that's
your personality.
And it's cold, and I'm wearing these.
And I also think that maybe it's definitely goes back to even how we grew up. Your family, like your mom, your nana, they don't care like that. Like if anyone says anything, they just don't care. But
we're
then
outspoken.
But then look at my mom.
Damn.
Look at my mom, who's timid, and she's just like, oh, like I'm gonna tell you this, but oh gosh, I hope you just. That's just my thought. That's just my opinion. Like that's how she backs up anything. If she's saying how she feels, that's how she backs it up. Oh, it's just my opinion. So I grew up with that, and you grew up with.
But that's why we just compliment each other.
Absolutely,
so well.
I agree.
I feel like I've gotten you more out of your shell, and you've kind of like, hey, you know, might not be the best to do that or say that here. And I'm like, you're probably right.
we definitely.
Ooh, whoa, Nelly. Yep.
Yeah.
Good call, wife.
Yeah, we definitely balance each other out.
Yeah, when I say hold my beer and watch this, you're like, no, I'm not holding it because you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're probably right.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best.
I know. I think people probably think that like I tamed you sometimes. Just because you're not as wild as you were, but you're older.
Can be. It just depends on the setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still a blast.
You are a blast. And
I like to be the life of the party.
Yeah, you definitely have that. You got that for sure.
I can sing karaoke on here. Do you want to end with a song?
No, babe. I love you so much, but you have a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Oh man!
But they don't need it.
Maybe next time.
Yeah,
a little sneak preview.
We'll have another interview, and you can sing a little bit for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for doing this for me.
Absolutely.
You're the best thing ever.
I love you.
I love you.